Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be ranking all of the makeup I tried in the month of September. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Okay, so before we get into the ranking, I want to say a huge thank you to Ana Luisa for working with me once again. I have been working with them for well over a year and a half at this point, and I am so incredibly grateful. I almost exclusively wear their pieces, and the reason being because they don't tarnish, they don't irritate my ears, they just don't do anything weird, and quite honestly, I'm incredibly lazy with my jewelry. I've said this before, I love putting in my earrings and being able to forget about them for a couple of days and have them not irritate my ears as a result. So I've been wearing the Frida Huggies at least as long as I've been working with Ana Luisa, and I believe the first time I worked with them was January 2022. So I've been wearing these for quite a while. I do change them out quite frequently, but this is a pair that I can leave in for days. I sleep in them, I shower in them. I completely forget to take them out because they're so comfortable and delicate. They never break open. I never have to worry about losing them. They never ever irritate my ears, and they just look so cute and feminine and delicate, and they still look like they did when I first got them. I also wear the Inna chain quite a bit. This is just a basic simple gold chain that is just so pretty and I think really elevates any look. Whenever I'm wearing this, I just feel so pulled together, especially compared to any of my other jewelry. Jewelry always makes everything feel more pulled together, but there's something about this that just feels more elevated, and this is another one that I will put on and forget about for a few days. And I work from home, and this I find even makes my cozy outfits look a little bit more elevated. And again, it's still just as shiny as it was when I first got it months ago. So I absolutely love this. So if you're in the market for some very trendy jewelry that is also very classic and going to last a really long time, I will leave my link and my code down below. You can use my code ChristyH20 to save 20% off at checkout. All of their pieces are also backed by a 2-year warranty. So I want to say a huge thank you once again to Ana Luisa for working with me on today's video, and let's get into the ranking. This month is very eyeshadow heavy. We are in the throes of holiday season, so this is to be expected. Eyeshadow palettes are coming out like crazy, and I'm not mad. They are my absolute favorite thing to review. I will also apologize if my voice seems really off or if I seem very low energy. I am fighting a cold right now, so I do apologize for that. Let's get into today's ranking. Coming in at number 8 is from Nars. This is the All That Glitters Light Reflecting Cheek Palette. I should mention I do have full reviews of all of these products on my channel, but this is absolutely not a bad product. I will say they make these palettes so hard to open. This is the first time I've invested in one of their 6-pan palettes that they release for holiday, and the quality is phenomenal. So you end up with these 2 more satin toned blushes, you get these 2 more shimmery blushes, and then you get these 2 on the end, which I really initially thought this was supposed to be a blush, but now I've come to the conclusion that these are both highlights. When I tried this one in my video, there was absolutely no pigment on my cheek, but it was very glowy, and there was a slight purple reflect, so I figured out these 2 are actually highlights and these 4 are blushes. And the reason this one is ranking lower is just because not all of these shades work for me. The red is a little too much. I think if I go in with a much lighter hand, it might work better, or if I tried it over this shade here, it might work better as well. This shade only works if I put it on over this one. I do want to try it over top of this one too, just to see. But these 2 satin shades are absolutely stunning. I was surprised this one worked so well for me, but it is beautiful. Again, I'm just a little bit too fair to pull off all of these shades, but the quality is fabulous. These are super long wearing. They do look beautiful on the skin. And I think if you're deeper than me, which is pretty much everybody, I think you might really enjoy this. Coming in at number 7 is the only foundation I tried this month. This is the Rose Inc Soft Light Skin Smoothing Liquid Foundation. This is a really nice foundation. It is definitely like a medium coverage. It comes in a very beautiful bottle. It has a very high quality pump. The finish on the skin is beautiful. It dries down to like a soft matte. It very much feels like skincare. And it just looks beautiful on the skin. It does a great job evening out skin tone, but it's very expensive. I think this is around $54 US or $73 Canadian. That is really steep, and as much as I like this, there's really nothing about it that justifies that price point, in my opinion. I think the packaging is stunning. I think the product itself is great, but it reminds me quite a lot of the Revlon Illuminance foundation, which I also really like. The thing with the two of them is that I just don't find them to be the most long wearing. I think they're both beautiful. They just don't wear a really long time on me for some reason, but they remind me of each other, and the Revlon is $20. So I would much rather pay that than this. This packaging is way more beautiful, but there's just nothing about this that really justifies the super high price tag. So that's why this one's ranking lower. It is beautiful. I will definitely use it up. I just don't understand what makes it that high price tag. I still prefer my Nars foundation, my Makeup by Mario, my House Labs. So again, not at all a bad product. I just don't know why it's so expensive. Coming in at number 6 is from Tarte, and this is their Man-Eater Nightfall palette. So I missed their palette last year in this packaging. It's still available, I think, but I really wanted to pick this one up, and I happened to be at an Ulta the day it launched. This palette is really beautiful. I love how we get some neutrals up top, and then we get some more colorful shades on the bottom. Definitely a very fall-like color story. Very, very pretty. The shimmers are absolutely stunning. The Amazonian Clay formula is one that I really do enjoy. The reason this one is ranking a little bit lower is because it is a little bit more of a colorful color story for me, but the shimmers are very, very messy. So this is when you really, really need to do your eyes first when you're using it. But otherwise, it's a beautiful palette. I've had a lot of fun playing with this one. I'm glad I did get to pick this one up. I will definitely continue to use it. But again, I just tried some palettes this month that I liked a little bit more. Coming in at number 5 is from Danessa Myricks. This is the Groundwork Defining Neutrals palette. So this is an all-over face palette. This is supposed to be for eyes, cheeks, lips, brows, whatever you want to do with it. And this is a great palette. I do think this will be a makeup artist staple. I don't know that this is going to be ideal for the everyday consumer, but I really enjoy it personally. So this does give you a really great range of neutrals. I have used this shade a ton. I use this in my brows. I didn't use it today, but I do use this for my brows a lot. This shade is a gorgeous contour. This shade here is a great bronzer. So this palette has 10 different shades, and each shade has a pomade and a powder. The powders are so tiny that it's hard to get a larger brush in. So if you use, say you use this shade for a contour and you want to set it, it's really hard to get a brush in there to actually pick up the product and set your contour. So what I would have done differently is I either would have made the powders bigger and the pomade smaller, or I would have made each pan the same size. So I find that a little bit weird. I also found that on the eyes, the pomades don't work very well if you prime and powder the lids first. You just want to go in with just the pomade. I don't think that makes it last as long, but that's just something I learned from using this on the eyes. I think this is a great palette. I think these shades are great. I think she did a great job with the shade range and the exact tones of all of these. I think this is beautiful. The formula of the pomades is wonderful. This is a wonderful contour shade, and I kind of like the pomades all over the face. I do think this is a very innovative product, and I'm really enjoying it. But again, I think this is definitely geared a little bit more toward makeup artists. When I did first review this pomade and this pomade had these weird fibers on it, which I was really quite put off by. But then I started seeing other people saying the exact same thing, and they just wiped theirs off and it was fine. So I guess that's just the way these come. Other than that, I think this is a great palette. I'm really, really enjoying it, and I am glad I got to pick this one up. Coming in at number 4 is a palette I'm shocked to see ranking so high. This is the Maple Syrup Pancakes palette from Too Faced. So this is probably some of the best quality I've seen from Too Faced in a while. So the color story is pretty on par with their other fall color stories, but I think they did something just a little bit different with this one. I think they added some more colors. I love that we have purples, we have greens, we have a blue that I'll never use, and then we have all of those standard neutrals. I think they did a really great job with these shades. Most of these shades perform very, very well. I really, really like the looks I create with this one. I do think this formula is better than some of their past palettes. I have the pumpkin spice palette from a few years ago, and that one, even brand new, the formula felt a little bit dry to me, and this one does not. There are some shades in here that definitely don't have much pigment, but I do think this is a great palette. I really love the looks I've created with it, and I'm definitely going to continue using it and having fun with it. I do think this is one of my favorites I've seen from them in a while, aside from the Sunset Stripped palette. That's a favorite. Coming in at number 3 is from ABH. This is their Fall Romance eyeshadow palette. This really felt like an ABH throwback because it has their fuzzy packaging like they used to do all the time. And then this color story is gorgeous. This is definitely on the deeper side, especially for someone fair like me. However, I find that I really can create some very easy wearable looks with this. I just have to be a little bit more light-handed with my mattes, but the shimmers in here are absolutely gorgeous. These are so beautiful. I love that they didn't put their standard like 3 or 4 matte browns that are in every single palette in here. They really did change it up, and I think it's stunning. The purples in here are absolutely gorgeous. Even the golds in here have something special. The greens, this is such a fall dream, and even though I'm super fair, I can make this work without the looks being too dark and deep and grungy. So I've really been enjoying this. I am so glad I did pick this up. I had my doubts at first. I almost didn't pick it up just because it is so deep. And I still think that if I was not on YouTube creating content, I probably wouldn't have picked this up, but I'm actually really glad I did. Coming in at number 2 is the other piece to the Nars holiday collection. This is the Endless Nights eyeshadow palette. So yes, I do think the eyeshadow palette is a bit repetitive. You know, their eyeshadow palettes do tend to be, there's always like a slight variation, but nothing ever new or exciting. But here's what gets me. This one actually leans a little bit more on the mauve-y side of things, and I compared this to the Natasha Denona Retro as well as the new Pat McGrath Sunlit Seduction, and there was actually quite a few similarities with this palette, and this is a lot less expensive than the other two, so if you like that color story, I think this is great. And the thing about Nars eyeshadows is I think the formula is so fabulous. I don't think they get enough credit for their formula because their palettes are very repetitive. They're never anything super new and revolutionary, but the quality is always phenomenal and their formula is just amazing. So for me, I'm always happy to pick these up. I'm never upset by it. And I do think as far as their typical color stories go, I love that this one leans a little bit more on the mauve purple side. So I think this is absolutely stunning, and I think they did a great job with this one. But coming in at number 1 is another one that I almost didn't pick up, but I actually really love. This is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 palette. This is the all matte palette he released, and I almost did not pick this up because I have all matte palettes. My Milani Whiskey Business is very much a favorite. I also ordered this around the same time as the Danessa Myricks. So I really didn't need an all matte palette, and I guarantee you I have all of these shades. Especially in the ColourPop Gone Matte palette, I definitely have these. But his formula is superior to the others. These are just so incredibly blendable and beautiful. This is what I have on my eyes today. Again, just a very simple look. I wasn't feeling well. When I'm not feeling well, I just don't go all out with my makeup. And I have some weird aversion to shimmer eyeshadows when I'm not feeling well. So I knew I wanted to reach for this one and just do an all matte, very simple look, and I love the way it turned out. The creams in here are also wonderful. I tend to use mine as liners. They do work best if you set them, but either way, they're beautiful products. The blendability is so good. These are so buttery, so easy to work with. They take so much of the work out of blending for you. I also love that you get a matte of cool tone browns and a row of warm tone browns. So you really get the best of both worlds. But that is it. Those are the 8 products I tried in the month of September. There's actually a few more trickling in here toward the end of the month, but I haven't had enough time with them to fully give you my thoughts. So you'll see them at the end of October. That includes my Hourglass palette. So stay tuned for that. If you're not subscribed, I hope you will do so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I do want to say a huge thank you once again to Ana Luisa for partnering with me on today's video and continuing to support my channel. I appreciate it so, so much, and I appreciate you guys so, so much as well. Thank you so much for watching as always. Let me know down below what you'd like to see from me in the next few months, but that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!